Hello Rebel. In this video we are going to learn how to set up all the needed CSS variables that are used in template builds. Before we begin, please ensure that your Figma project has the style guide and specs pages. Let's start. Open the style guide page and scroll it down till you see the color styles. In our project we have primary, secondary and tertiary accent colors. Also primary, secondary and tertiary text colors. White and additional colors. In the CSS Global Shared Element, go to Variables, Colors, Font Families. Here you will see the CSS variables used for colors. Let's update the values of those variables. Move step by step and update first primary accent color. Then secondary accent color. Tertiary accent color is the next one. Now let's update primary, secondary and tertiary text colors. White color remains unchanged. Additional color is missing from our CSS code, so let's create a new variable for it. If there are any extra colors in your project, please add them to the CSS code. The color variables are now set up. Now we would need to add the fonts that are used in the project and update the font family variables. Open the CSS Fonts Shared Element, Google Fonts page and Typography Styles and Style Guide in the Figma project. Once you go to the typography styles, you will see a box with font family names that are used in this project. But before you proceed on adding fonts to the runner from Google Fonts page, you need to check which font weights and styles are added to typography. On Google Fonts page, search for the needed font. Find the weight or style of the font that was used in typography styles. Click on plus icon. Then copy the link of the font and open it in a new tab. We need to use the font properties that support the Latin basic language. On the CSS Fonts page, first add a font element to your b-test. Then copy and paste all the needed properties from the Google Font link. Add friendly name, font source, Unicode range, choose the right weight and style if needed. Also add the font format. Do the same steps for all fonts that you have in project, as also for the needed font weights and styles. Now we would need to set up the font variables in CSS Global Shared Element. Let's update the primary font family with the correct font. Next is the secondary font family. Tertiary font family is not used in this project, so we will just remove it. The font family variables are now set up. As next step, we will update the line height variables values. The line height variables can be found in the style guide. Let's start with the first one, large. In CSS we specify the line height property as a number. So, 160% will be written as 1.6. Let's set up the normal line height now. Small line height is the last one in our project. The line height variables are now set up. Lastly, we need to specify the spacing variables. Open the specs page in Figma. Here on the left side you can see all the spacing variables values. There are vertical and horizontal spacings levels for desktop, as also for tablet and mobile devices. Before we proceed on setting up the spacing variables, let's try to understand what is horizontal and vertical spacing, as also their leveling. Let's imagine that we have one block with some elements, a sidebar and another block in the bottom. The spacing between two separate high-level blocks will be level 1, vertical, which goes from top to bottom. And horizontal spacing level 1 will be on left and right sides of the blocks. The level 2 is lower in the hierarchy and specifies the spacing between elements inside the high-level blocks. Here you can see horizontal and vertical level 2 spacing. The level 3 is specifying the spacing between elements inside the low-level blocks, which are the children of the high-level block. Let's take a look at a real example. This is the vertical level 1 for the desktop. This one is also the vertical level 1. And that would be the horizontal level 1. This spacing is horizontal level 2. And these spacings are vertical level 3. Open the CSS Global and find variables, spacing between blocks or items. As you see, we have the spacing variables for the mobile devices first, then for tablets and also for desktop. Now let's set up spacing variables values for mobile devices. Vertical level 1 spacing is equal 32 pixels in our project. Next is the vertical spacing 2. It equals 24 pixels, let's update it. Moving to vertical level 3. Although in Figma it says, not used in sidebar, so not needed in mobile, removing it is a wrong idea. Oftentimes sidebar is used on mobile just below the main content, so let's keep it. Let's take a look at horizontal level 1. Here we have 16 pixels in our project. Now checking horizontal spacing 2. It equals 8 pixels on mobile. Horizontal level 3 is not present for mobile, but will be used on desktop and tablet. So, let's keep it with a null. This variable is a custom one, so it doesn't belong to any levels, and you can define such custom variables in case if you have more spacing variations in your project. Follow the same instruction for setting up variables for tablet and desktop versions. That's all what you need to know about setting up the variables. Thanks for watching.